Gymnastics like you've never seen it before.
It's a skill for skill.
Face off.
And only the strongest
will survive.
Tonight, the best in the U.S.
take on the best in the world.
This is the ultimate challenge.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Welcome to Stabler Arena on the campus of Lehigh University, where a who's who of the professional gymnastics world has assembled. They will prove their mettle in a unique event where it's all about how big and how high these athletes can go. Hi everyone, I'm Bonnie Bernstein alongside three-time Olympian John Roethlisberger. Welcome to the inaugural Pro Gymnastics Challenge. We've got 30 of the best gymnasts across the globe competing in this event, representing 12 countries and collectively 48 Olympic and world medals. Not too shabby, right? I want you to take a minute, spotlight, and I know this is hard, spotlight a couple of the gymnasts we'll be seeing in this competition.
Well, Bonnie, this is one of the most unique, diverse fields I've ever seen in the sport of gymnastics. We have NCAA champions, we have USA champions, world champions, and of course Olympic champions. But one gymnast that kind of jumps out at me right off the bat is Chelsea Memel. In 2003, she burst onto the world scene by winning the uneven bar title at the World Championships. Since that time, she's had an amazing gymnastics career, but she's one of those gymnasts that always seems to have gas in the tank and always has something up her sleeve. For the U.S. men, Brandon Wynn might not be the biggest name on the U.S. men's team, but he has got a wide repertoire of skills. He's got a lot of difficulty. I feel like this format really fits his talents. On the international side, Oksana Chusovitina has got to be the sentimental favorite. 37 years old, which is considered ancient in the sport of gymnastics. She's been to 6 Olympic Games, won 9 world medals on the vault. That is an event we definitely want to keep an eye on her.
And she's going to be shooting for Olympics #7 in 2016. Well, in this particular format, it's so important for the coaches to understand the entire repertoire of their gymnasts. Why? Well, because we kind of liken this to the gymnastics version of horse in basketball. There are 7 events. The first team to get to 6 points wins a round.
The points will be decided by expert judges, and in the case of a tie, the in-venue audience will actually get the nod via text vote. This is a best-of-7 round competition. The winning team of each round will earn $16,000. Time now to check in with the third member of our team, Suri Serrano, and Team USA's coaches.
I'm here with Nastya Lukin and Blaine Wilson. So, Nastya, this is a very different approach to what people traditionally know gymnastics to be. How important is this type of competition for the evolution of the sport?
I think this competition is extremely important for the evolution of sport because, A, it's not been done before, and I think you look out here and you see the amazing field that we have both from the United States and the world, and I think it's just going to be such a great competition because everyone is so passionate, but not to mention everyone wants to win, so it'll be a tough battle.
Of course they do. And Blaine, let's talk strategy. First, how difficult was it for you to choose your athletes out of, with such an incredible lineup of world, Olympic champions, national champions, and finally, what kind of strategy really goes into that?
Well, it wasn't easy, I can tell you that. I mean, we have some talented gymnasts on this team, both guys and girls, but the strategy is just based on you got to get points. And to get points, you need big skills and big skills in combination, and throw in, try to get a little tie here and there so you can absolutely blow it out of the water with like I don't know, like a freestyle or some kind of crazy thing you want to do. So it's going to be crazy.
It sure is. Well, best of luck to you both. Thank you.
Suri, thank you. So tumbling will kick things off in round 1, followed by the parallel and uneven bars. Then we move to vaulting in round 3. Beam and rings, and then the all-around where the tricks are actually determined by the audience. The final event will be the high-flying single rail and high bar. John, taking a look at the team competitors for tumbling, who stands out for you?
Well, obviously everybody's good, but in particular, Eleftherios Kosmidis, 2-time world champion from Greece, is going to be awesome. I would love to see him go head-to-head with arguably the best American tumbler, Jake Dalton. We'll see if that happens.
I just want you to say Eleftherios 5 times fast.
Yeah, good luck with that.
We've got some officials that if you know this sport, you probably recognize. On the right, that's Dominique Moceanu, the youngest member, of course, of the Magnificent Seven squad that won team gold at the '96 Olympics. And on the left is four-time Olympic coach Miles Avery. He was also at Ohio State for a long time, where he had Blaine Wilson, Team USA's coach today, and Brandon Wynn, who you'll see in just a little bit. Team USA starts on offense. Up first, Paul Ruggieri, the 23-year-old Illinois alum.
And he's going to go big right out of the gate, Bonnie. Arabian double front in the laid out position. Now, interestingly enough, I overheard the coaches for Team World before this, wondering if they were going to sacrifice a point here because they knew he was going to go big. We'll see what they do. Another look at it right here. Arabian laid out double front, man. Perfect.
Now, right out the gate, John, we're going to show you something that's different than customary gymnastics competition. We will see guy versus girl in this meet. And so, countering Paul Ruggieri is Jade Barbosa, 21-year-old from Brazil for Team World, a 2007 Sportswoman of the Year.
She does a very good job. It was not a laid out position like Paul Ruggieri did. She got a little bit piked, which the judges should lean towards Paul in that. Watch right there. She starts to pike and tuck actually a little bit to the ground. Really good, but just not quite as good as Paul Ruggieri.
And the point goes to Team USA. And something else we should point out, you know, when we're judging gymnastics, we're always looking for that perfect form. Judges are looking for something different now. They're looking for height as we take a look at Chelsea Memel.
Speaking of height, nice double layout, something Chelsea has done throughout her career. Talked about her in the Open being somebody who always seems to have gas in her tank and something up her sleeve. She's just really has great longevity and outstanding gymnastics. This is putting Team USA in a good position.
Chelsea was on the '08 U.S. Olympic team. She's been very injury riddled. Conceivably could have been on 3 Olympic teams if it weren't for those injuries. Marissa King now for Team World.
Oh, wow.
That was nice.
This is, tell you what, they're not holding back. We saw some practices, and they kind of seemed a little bit more reserved in the practice, but they are coming out strong. Beautiful.
Look pretty sweet. Marissa hails from England, but she attended university here in the States. She went to Florida, part of the team that won its first NCAA championship this year. Team USA gets the point. They have the lead early on of the Pro Gymnastics Challenge, 2-0 over Team World. We'll be back in just a minute from Stabler Arena. The Pro Gymnastics Challenge, sponsored by Balance Bar with 40-30-30 Balance Nutrition. Have you found your balance? Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. And by International Gymnastics Camp, a summer experience like no other, bringing the gymnastics world together since 1971. Welcome back to the Pro Gymnastics Challenge. Team USA currently leading Team World 2-0 in the tumbling competition, where these gymnasts not only pushing the limits of their sport, but they're also pushing the limits of physical science, as we learned firsthand with Jessica Lopez of Team World. At 27, she is Venezuela's top gymnast. So to take a closer look at the amazing biomechanics and physics she brings to the table, we hooked her up with some state-of-the-art sensors. The key to Lopez's double full is converting her momentum into vertical velocity at takeoff. During her approach, she'll do a round-off back handspring and then flip 720 degrees. That increases her momentum on 2 planes rather than 1. And she's able to generate 1,500 watts of energy when she leaps. That is the same amount of power Dwight Howard produces when he launches for a dunk. And oh, by the way, Lopez is less than half his weight. J-Lo is in the air for 0.7 of a second. And her center of mass reaches a maximum height of close to 7 feet. Translation, Jessica Lopez, in theory, could jump over an average racehorse.
She has got a tiny body, but she is packed with power. I challenge her to find anybody, pound for pound, to find better athletes than gymnasts like J-Lo.
To learn more about all the athletes in this competition, just go to www.professionalgymnastics.com. As we continue our coverage of the Pro Gymnastics Challenge, this is Josh Dixon, the 7-time NCAA All-American from Stanford.
Oh, now we're into the combination passes, lay out front to a pike double front. These guys are making this look way too easy.
Josh actually grew up in the Bay Area, just 17 miles or so from Palo Alto. Couldn't dream of being anywhere else, and Cardinal won 2 championships during his time there.
Team World comes in. A wild card is when the defensive
Team World calling the wild card with Patrice Barbosa. Now, there are a bunch of different momentum-shifting rules in this competition, if you will. A wild card is basically when you take somebody off the bench, somebody who's not on your event team. You need a little jolt, you go to the wild card. It's Patrice Barbosa.
And it puts the pressure on him. He's got to go big. Oh, and you can see right off the floor that was not going to be enough. You alluded to it, Bonnie. Each team can put up 3 American men, 3 American women, as well as the world team can put up 3 women and 3 men. Anybody outside of that is considered a wild card, as Patrick was right here. Just does not quite have enough height, and it opens up a little bit early.
With Barbosa falling, the point goes to Team USA, up 3-0 now over Team World. Let's see if they can keep the momentum going with Vanessa Zamarripa, who just finished up a stellar career at UCLA. She is one of Valerie Kondo's field's favorite athletes, the coach for the Bruins.
Outstanding collegiate gymnast. He's got great power and style. Nice Arabian pike double front.
That was nice. Good height there.
This is doable, though. This is a point where Team World they've got to win this point. This is very winnable for them, even though this was a great skill.
Team World, we have Sam.
After and off the ground. That is some sweet big air for the
And again, we're
Zamarripa.
going guy versus girl again. This is Sam Oldham. He is the youngest member of Team World. Hails from England.
And that's big air right there, Bonnie. I don't think Zamo's got much of a chance against that, as good as hers was.
I'm all for guys going against girls on tumbling, and it's one of those events where it works, but I think the Brit got the edge there.
All right, let's check out that replay. Watch the air here.
And he just kicks out and needed to. I believe that will be Team World's first point, and it is.
Team World on the board, although USA still winning the tumbling competition 3-1. And next up is England's Lisa Mason, who knows a thing or two about defying odds in this sport. She returns to competition, I kid you not, a full 12 years after retiring.
I started in gymnastics when I was 5. I actually got caught climbing on a house roof. So my mum kind of wanted to channel my energy and put me into something that kept me out of troubles. I did a lot of firsts for Great Britain. I was one of the first to, make finals at Europeans and Worlds, and I was 3 times national champion. We were the first group from Great Britain to ever send a whole team to the Olympic Games. That is one of the highlights. I retired in 2000 after the Sydney Olympics. I was just kind of worn out and wanted to have a normal life. Then I did a show out in the London Olympics, and I kind of got the buzz back and was like, well, I can still do it, so we'll give it a go and see what happens. My daughter, Yelana, she's going to be 8 next week. Yeah, she's a character and a half. She takes after her mum. I always say to her, just because someone says you can't do it doesn't mean that you can't. I'm 5'7", I'm 31, I break all the rules. I'm doing it and I'm loving it.
She is really an inspiration. 31 years old, and there is no stopping her.
You are right about that. So Lisa will attempt a triple full here. Let's see what she's got.
Or with a triple twist, she does not make it. Now, this is an interesting moment because Team USA's got an option. They can either do the skill or they can pass and take over on offense. Another look at it right here. Really a great triple twist, just a little too much juice.
So Team World is deciding to double down, which means she's going to give it one more try. 2 points are on the line here.
They can retry the skill one more time.
And if he gets a point, then it's us again. So she can just yes.
For 2 points.
And if he does
Puts us at 5.
yeah. And then she can just do one skill, double pike or something.
This definitely adds more pressure to the trick.
So here's what happens. You double the points, you double the risk. If the gymnast misses the trick, you get to do one over. It can make it you get 2 points. If not, the other team has the opportunity to earn 2 points.
Very nice, very nice. This is risky, though, Bonnie, because if Team USA can put up somebody with a better triple full than Lisa just did, they are going to pull 2 points from this. And I have a feeling they might have somebody just up for the task. Very nice.
So Lisa Mason from Team World makes good on her second opportunity, but now Jake Dalton, who, if you're a gymnastics fan, you're going to be watching this guy for sure in the 2016 games in Rio.
This is not a good situation for Team World. I have seen Jake Dalton do a triple full many times, and I have yet to see somebody do it better than he does.
Yes.
You saw him on the 2012 Olympic team. He finished up 5th in the standings, and he is a 2-time reigning U.S. champ on floor exercise. So this guy is no joke. He opened it up.
That's just not fair right there. That's like big brother picking on little brother.
So there was a calculated risk that Team World took there. They were shooting to get the 2 points, but since Team USA wins that point, most likely with Jake, that further widens the gap here.
There's a couple strategies I think Team World made mistakes here, and one was doubling down when they know Jake Dalton's on the other bench, and then also the first pairing up, Ruggieri versus Barbosa. I think they should have succeeded that point.
So Team USA going up 5-1 with that win on the double down. Will return to the Pro Gymnastics Challenge right after this at Stabler Arena. Be sure to watch some of the world's best athletes as the action continues tomorrow and Wednesday night on the Pro Gymnastics Challenge, 8 o'clock Eastern, here on ESPN2.
Strategy is going to play a really big part in this thing because there's a lot of different things you can do. There's a lot of, rules that you can use to your advantage, and you got to watch out for certain things.
I think bringing the unique skills in is going to be something that will be different.
You don't have to please all the judges, all the rules. This is more about guts, who can do the more impressive thing, who can go higher, who can go faster, who can be stronger.
This is not one of those meets where it's easy strategy. There's a lot at play, placing a lot of pressure on Blaine Wilson and the other coaches at the PGC. This is a unique event, which we found out. Brought to you by Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance.
It's extreme gymnastics. Go big or go home.
There's nothing like it. And at a normal competition, it's all about the code of points. Here, it's basically who did it better.
You have to play strategy a lot.
The ultimate goal is to win.
I'm going to come out with my big dogs first.
In certain events, I might be able to put the best athletes first. In certain events, I might save them for last.
Being on offense is where you want to be.
One of our biggest strengths is the high bar because the guys are just like daredevils. And also on the girls' side, they're really able to throw some pretty big skills.
Secret weapon. I think we have a few skills on the parallel bars. I don't think the U.S. team can do.
Everyone's going to be fired up. Everyone's going to be wanting to beat each other, and you want to win.
I know I hate losing, so my team is going to hate losing even more.
Team World is going to win.
Team USA is going to be pretty tough to beat.
That's what makes it crazy. It's like, yeah.
There are some cool elements to this competition. First of all, the double down. We've seen it. It's like a mulligan. If you make a mistake, you can try it again, but it doubles the points. There's the freestyle. You can do any skill you want in gymnastics, something off the beaten path, and somebody else on the other team got to do something equally or better than that. The call out. You can call out a specific athlete on the other team and go head-to-head with that athlete. Then there's the wild card. If somebody in your starting lineup can't do the skill, pull somebody off the bench, put them in the lineup, take your chances with them.
Each of these events goes to 6 points. Team USA on the verge of winning the tumbling event, and they're sending Alyssa Pritchett to the mat. Another one of our UCLA athletes in this competition.
Oh, and she
almost bit it, but hung on.
She throws a big double twist and double back.
Alyssa's such a great story because she walked on at UCLA. She's from the area, and she eventually became a really solid floor and vault competitor.
She was a little bit scrambling in the air. The legs are...
But we're not worried about the form in this competition.
No, we're not, but I was a little worried she wasn't going to make it around to the feet there.
Kind of reminds me of X Games where they talk about big air and big tricks. Same sort of premise at the Pro Gymnastics Challenge.
And here we go, the guy we've been waiting for, the two-time world champion, Kosmides from Greece. I have a feeling this is not going to be a whole lot of trouble for him.
Probably not. There's a reason why he's a two-time world champion on floor X, and that's a little bit of what Eleftherios Kosmides can do.
Just perfect. You can see the difference, just bails out of it in the middle, kicks out.
World gets the point, they're hanging in there, but still USA leads 5-2. And Andy Smith will be the next competitor for Team World, 22-year-old from Nottingham, England. But he actually competes for Ireland, because that's where his parents, his mother's side of the family is from.
This guy can twist. I saw him warm up earlier, a 3.5 twist. I think he's also capable of a quad twist. Oh, and that was a big risk. He did the 3.5 twist, and he did a punch front full out of it. That is ridiculously difficult.
You notice he didn't do a back handspring. That's the customary fare on tumbling, but he does not use back handsprings at all. He says he gets more power without them.
He doesn't need those stinking back handsprings.
I don't need those stinking back handsprings.
Almost got a haircut on the edge of the floor right there. This is going to be tough for Team USA to match. This is a very pivotal moment because Team USA, every time up now, it is game point for this first event.
Paul Ruggieri will try to counter now.
This is not a skill that's necessarily in his wheelhouse, but oh my goodness, you can't be serious. That's crazy, that's ridiculous, that's crazy-iculous. I just made that word up.
Just made that up. There's nothing this guy won't try. We were watching him in practice, and he had never done a double back on bars before, on parallel bars. I'll just try it.
I thought for sure Team World had this point. Unbelievable.
He will try anything.
He loves this format. You can tell he is willing to try anything. I talked to these guys before the competition, and they said exactly that. We'll try anything tonight. It's all about going big.
And it has paid big dividends as Team USA takes down the first event with ease. When on offense, they put their foot on the gas, and when on defense, they did what they had to do, and they answered Team World.
So after one event at the Pro Gymnastics Challenge, Team USA with a 1-0 lead over Team World. Sari Serrano is with Chelsea Memel and the hero for Team USA, Paul Ruggieri.
All right, guys, congratulations. So Chelsea, can you do that double layout in your sleep?
Pretty much. I learned it when I was 16, and it's my absolute favorite skill to do.
Well, it was huge. And Paul, wow, tell us about that skill. That is unbelievable. Blew this roof off.
Thanks. I just started training 3.5s this year, and I had punched out of it a couple times, but it's really dangerous for my ankles on a real floor, so the rod floor was a perfect place to try out a punch full, and I pulled it out somehow.
What goes through your mind right before you do that skill?
I hope I don't go crooked.
Thanks, guys, so much. Congratulations.
Sari, thank you. Team USA with a 1-0 lead over Team World. Uneven bars and parallel bars up next. Welcome back. The Pro Gymnastics Challenge is a best-of-7 competition, so be sure you join us again tomorrow and Wednesday night as coverage continues at 8 Eastern on ESPN2. After one round of competition, Team USA with the 1-0 lead over Team World on the Geico standings as the gymnasts prepare for parallel and uneven bars in round 2. Let's check in with Suri Serrano, who is with Team World coach Svetlana Boginskaya.
Svetlana, with the U.S. team taking event round 1, what's your strategy going into uneven bars and parallel bars?
Well, first event definitely was disappointing. Right now, just getting athletes together and saying it's just try to do your best, and let's try to do the skill that you actually train at your gym. So don't do anything that you shouldn't be doing, just focus on what you can.
Anything we can expect to look for?
Well, I definitely hope so. So let's watch and see what happens.
All right, thank you. Best of luck.
Thanks.
Boginskaya is equally as serious as a coach as she was a competitor. As we take a look at the gymnasts competing in round 2, John, what stands out?
Well, everybody stands out, but this is our first chance to see Brandon win. I talked about how diverse and the wide repertoire of skills he has. He'll be fun to watch on this event, as well as I'm excited to see Marissa King from Great Britain. She looked outstanding on the floor exercise, but she didn't quite get that point, and I know she wants to get that back here on the second rotation.
Well, going back to what Svetlana was talking about, she had told us that she's had a real tough time getting a feel for the international gymnast. There's been a language barrier. She's only had a chance to spend a few days with her gymnasts to get a sense for what they can do, what they can't do, because that's so important for her strategy. Getting set for round 2, uneven and parallel bars. John, you've been looking forward to seeing Brandon win, the Voorhees, New Jersey native. He just missed out making the 2012 Olympic team. Barring anything catastrophic, I know we're going to see him in 2016.
The great thing about Brandon is a lot of big guys, like obviously Brandon's big. I think the parallel bars are scared of him. But a lot of big guys, they don't swing that well. They don't move that fluidly. But Brandon, he's a very unique gymnast because he's got great swing elements as well. Like that.
Comes out of the gate swinging.
I'm gonna guess we have our first forfeit because I do not know
who is going to do that on Team World.
Who is going to do that on Team World, because that is a tough skill. Watch this. It's going to be a giant swing, and he's going to go into a double back, but he's going to do a half turn to a rollout.
And you're right, John. Team World has no answers, so they will forfeit the point, and Team USA goes up in the bars competition 1-0.
This is funny, Bonnie, because when we saw the practice sessions, there really weren't that many forfeits, if any, and they were holding back. They're kind of keeping those secret weapons in their back pocket, and they are staying true to form. They're staying true to what they said before this competition tonight, that they're not holding back. If they're going to get a forfeit, there's no mercy.
So with the forfeited point, we move on to our next 2 competitors. Up next for Team USA, Vanessa Zamarripa, the former national team member, just won the AAI award for the nation's top senior collegiate gymnast.
The USA is on offense, so they get to choose the skill.
Gorgeous form. Oh! That was a mistake
there.
Yep. 2 mistakes.
So that opens the door now for Team World. She did not do the designated skill.
Not something we'd expect to see from Vanessa Zamarripa in the practice round. So clean and so consistent. Now the gymnast that Team World is going to counter with, this is another woman who's known for her beautiful lines, 27-year-old Jessica Lopez, Venezuela's version of J-Lo.
And she has the option to not do this and take over on offense, but I believe this is an easy sequence for her, and I think this is a great opportunity for Team World to tie this event up.
How beautiful she swings those bars.
Nicely
and she
done.
knows she's got the point there.
She did right. Hey, hey.
Another look at that. Bar to bar exchange from low bar to high bar, and then again back to the low bar. Talk about another gymnast who doesn't always show that much emotion. J-Lo is pumping the fist, having a good time. Love it.
And Jessica's been really instrumental in moving the communication along with the international gymnast. She speaks 3 languages, so she's been a bit of a translator this week as the gymnasts were preparing for the competition. Tommy Ramos up next for Team World. First appearance of the competition for the 26-year-old from Puerto Rico. Went to college here in the States, 5-time All-American at Penn State, and parallel bars is one of the events, John, where he really excels.
And he's going to push the limits here again. He's going to do a peach. Now watch this. Tapel right to a front flip.
Across the entire length of the P-bars.
And again, I don't know that Team USA has somebody in their lineup. They may have to go to a wild card here. I'm not sure if anybody else can do this skill. Watch right here. So tough on the shoulders.
You know, there is
counter rotate to the front.
There's one option, John. They could go to a wild card. John Orozco, Olympian back in London, had knee surgery a few months ago. He's been working out, not on this original event roster, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him at some point in this competition.
Well, we alluded to the wild card, and there he is getting the bars chalked up. Obviously, Brandon Wynn cannot go. Everybody on their starting lineup has to go through at least once before you can repeat a gymnast. So Brandon Wynn was the first guy up. He cannot go again. He's helping out his teammate. John Orozco is the wild card, Bonnie. They can do this once during an event, and this is Team USA's chance. There's the, oh, and there's a break. Not going to get the point, but let's see if he can do it. He does the regular Tapel. Not going to happen. You know, I got to question that because it doesn't appear to me that he was going to do the exact skill, which leads me to believe they should have forfeited the point because they could save that wild card for later. Not sure about the strategy there.
That's right. You're only allowed to use some of these little wild card opportunities once an event. So Team USA has used their wild card. They can't use another one in this round. Team World with a 2-1 lead over Team USA in the uneven and parallel bars competition. Nathan Gafuic up next for the World Men when we return to the Pro Gymnastics Challenge.
The Pro Gymnastics Challenge is so exciting for us because it's something different, it's something new. And growing up, I've always watched things like the X Games and just motocross and all these, different exciting events. And this is kind of gearing towards that, but with gymnastics.
I really think this event's going to be a huge hit just because we're allowed to just do massive skills.
We get to do just skill for skill battle. None of us have competed like this before. It's going to be exciting, and we can really show people the individual skills and the fun part of gymnastics.
We want to win, we want to beat the US, and they want to beat us because the two teams are so strong and so good, and it's almost like fighting for bragging rights.
I think this is going to put gymnastics on the map with that portion of it because it's crazy skills.
Welcome back to the Pro Gymnastics Challenge. Team USA trailing Team World 2-1 in the parallel uneven bars, but they still have a 1-0 overall lead in the competition. Up next for Team World, Nathan Gafuic, the first time we're seeing him in this competition, the 27-year-old 3-time Olympian from our neighbors to the north.
Doing another sequence, giant on the end of the bar, right to what's called a Bobzar. Similar to the Tapel front we saw from Tommy Ramos, this time he does it to a glide. Nicely done. I do believe we will get somebody from Team USA that can match that skill. Another look at it, you can see there's the Tapel, but this time instead of doing the forward roll out, reaches out, puts his legs behind him, glides out of it. Nicely done by the Canuck.
Nathan, the lone representative for Team Canada in London last year, but he's actually nowhere near 100%. He had thumb surgery a couple years before the game, so he was only able to compete on high bar. Coming up next for Team USA, Paul Ruggieri, the U.S. Olympic Committee Athlete of the Month. Had a great April. He won gold on vault and high bar at the World Championships, and he's really grooving.
More importantly, he is 2-0 tonight, Bonnie. We saw him pull out the win for Team USA on floor, and he's going to be needed right here to even this up. And good effort. Again, not his skill. That's not his wheelhouse right there.
I don't think he's done anything that he's accustomed to doing.
No, but he's the guy who's like, hey, nobody can do this. Who do we call? It's like Mikey liking Life cereal. I mean, they call Paul Rogier, and he gets up and tries it. Love it. Not going to get him a point, though.
We give him credit for trying, although it's not going to amount to a point. So Team World gets the point. 3-1 lead over Team USA. Next up for Team World is Oksana Chusevitna, the 37-year-old from the Ukraine. And if ever is there an inspirational athlete in this competition, it is her.
6 Olympic Games. Her first one was 1992. That was my first games, which just dates me as well. But I love it. Look at that. Are you kidding me? She's a mom. She's 37. She's been to 6 Olympic Games. This is unreal athleticism.
It boggles my mind. This woman had a son and came back to international competition.
Another look at hop full over, a little formy there, but she makes it in a full twist and double back dismount. Great look at the dismount. I mean, I've got to tip my hat to that, I'm saying, young lady.
And who will
in my book she is.
Oksana's competed in the Olympics for 3 different countries. She's competed for Germany in the last couple because her son, when he was a toddler, was diagnosed with leukemia. And so she moved the family to Germany so he could have the best doctors. And in turn, she wound up competing for 2 Olympics for Germany.
Just amazing.
Everyone here is so incredible, including the student athletes who somehow juggle their education and passion for the sport, as we found out in a chat sponsored by Balance Bar. Have you found your balance?
Being a student athlete is actually, it's pretty intense. We wake up at about 5:40.
I'll go to morning workout for about an hour.
I head home, you know, change, eat real quick. And then I head to class, political science class,
Religious studies class,
anatomy and physiology 1,
molecular and cellular biology,
sociology 102.
I'd have lunch, and right after lunch, I would go back to the gym.
Practice from 1:30 to 5:30. By the time I get back home, I eat dinner and do some more schoolwork and head off to bed.
And then you restart.
You can't just be a machine all day, every day. You gotta have some fun, you gotta have other outlets to be working hard, you know, or you're gonna go crazy thinking about the one thing you messed up in the gym today.
It's definitely difficult, but I just go one step at a time to balance things. One thing I've learned is when I'm training, my mind is in the gym. I don't think about schooling, I don't think about this paper, do anything like that. It's just focus on my gymnastics, and then outside, no more gymnastics thinking, and just focus on school.
You want to talk dedication. Bree Olson chose to miss her college graduation this week in order to be a part of this elite competition.
So she is now officially a graduate of the University of Oklahoma. The Sooners finishing number 2 in the nation this year.
And she just lost to a 37-year-old Bree. That again, it's a strategy here. They just used one of their gymnasts. They could have saved her. They could have just given up that skill, because obviously she couldn't do that sequence.
But don't you think it's a pride thing? I'm sure there's nobody on that team who wants to forfeit a point.
You know what? You got to be smart, though. You got to use your strategy well. There's a lot of pride at stake here. You got to play the game to win.
Well, we could use Shayla. What is she doing? What? Shayla can do that. Shayla, get ready just in case. What?
Patrice Barbosa from Brazil will try to extend Team World's lead. Currently up 4-1 over the USA. One of the younger gymnasts on Team World, just 21 years old, John.
He's a kid.
He is but a puppy.
Oh, and that was a mistake. That was a mistake. He peeled off the bars. He was supposed to do a peach back tuck right there.
Opening up the door.
Looks like he might have, yeah. So right now, this is a great opportunity because Team USA, I don't believe, again, unless they want to teach Paul Ruggieri real quick, a peach back flip. Oh, they're going to double down.
Double down. Interesting call. So they double down. If Barbosa makes this skill and offense wins, he will get 2 points and Team World will win this event.
This is a great move for them because I do believe they expected a forfeit on this skill. Team USA has already used their wild card with John Orozco. They've already used Paul Ruggieri, who is the jack of all trades and will try anything at least once. So I don't know who they have that could go up here in this situation. It would have to be Jake Dalton. So if he makes this, Jake Dalton better learn this skill real fast.
Maybe whatever Paul Ruggieri had for breakfast. Send a little his way.
I'm just going to throw this out there because I don't think this happened, but they could sandbag that first attempt. If Team
you think
World
that's what happens? So they could turn around and go for the double down.
I don't think it did. I really don't think he did that intentionally, but it puts him in a perfect situation. They know that no one on Team USA can do this skill. Miss it the first time, double down, and if he's confident that he's going to make it the second time, get up and do it and win.
He's going back to chalk up again. Maybe I'm reading too much into this, but he doesn't look like the most confident guy in the world right now.
Yeah, he looks a little unsure. Oh, now he's
got the crowd behind him.
Maybe that's what he needs, a little crowd confidence.
It looked like he ripped his hand when he came off. And he was talking to Sharapov. Attempt number 2 for Patrice Barbosa.
And there it is.
There it is.
That's tough, man. It's not one of those big air skills, but it's big difficulty skill.
And now the only person left on Team USA who can do this trick, Jake Dalton.
And this is one of those skills. It might not look like a death-defying skill, but here's another look at it. It is so intricate. Years ago, this would have been considered impossible. It's going to be tough for Jake. Jake Dalton was one of those athletes, Bonnie, in particular in the huddle before competition started in the warm-up, talking about, I'll do anything. I'll get up there. We'll try it. We'll chuck it. And he's right in that situation because, again, I don't believe, I've never seen Jake Dalton compete this skill. And I don't believe it's something that he does regularly in practice. May have tried it. Certainly he's done peach baskets before, but the peach to the back tuck that we just saw from Barbosa, that's a whole nother story.
I will say this. Every one of the U.S. men you will see in this competition are shooting for 2016 in Brazil. And not one of them has a shred of fear anywhere in their bodies. Crowd getting riled up for Jake Dalton. If Team USA loses this point, Team World will tie up the competition, taking bars from the U.S.
Wow, this would hence be a shellacking. And you can see
he's got spotters on either side. This is something new for him.
You see the double spot, you know he is unsure. Oh, double down. Jake, double down. They can still double down. They have to double down. Here he goes. You can see him trying, and there was just no chance.
And the audience is seeing something we never see in competition. This is what happens in practice. And Team World, of course, gets the point. They win the bars event 6-1. So now the Pro Gymnastics Challenge is tied at 1 event apiece. USA took the tumbling event in round 1 with outstanding performances from Jake Dalton and Paul Ruggieri, who won not 1 but 2 points for his team, including a 3.5 punch front full, something he only recently added to his repertoire. But Team World fired back with a gutsy performance from Patrice Barbosa in the P-bars, and now the Geico standings are all tied up after 2 events.
You know, looking forward, it is so hard to predict. On paper, I would probably lean Team USA. They have some great vaulters. They do have some strong ringmen like Brandon Wynn. But when it comes down to it, both of these teams, it comes down to how they use the offense and how they use the wild cards.
Surrey is standing by with 2 of the stars from Team World.
All right, guys, congratulations on the win. So, Petrix, tell us what happened on that first time getting up there.
Yeah, my hand slipped when I did my skill, Tejada, and I have a callus in my hand, and it is ripped like this. But this is a skill that I can't do easy. I've got to do it a lot of time. So I said to my coach, I want double down because I can't do it easy. I can't do it again for my team, you know?
Right, so going into the double down, was that your decision to do it?
Yeah, my coach approved my decision because I can't do it easy. Just warm my hand and try again.
So what was your thought process going back up there, knowing that you had to hit for your team?
Yes, so because a lot of pressure I felt because if I did it again, right, I can kill the game in P-bars. If I didn't, I give 2 points for another team, and it was bad for us. But thanks, I did it, and we won.
Yep, that was massive for your team. Congratulations on that. And Nathan, tell me what was going through your mind when you went up there.
Well, of course, I was pretty nervous. I mean, this format is completely different to what I'm normally used to. And I was just hoping I'd stay on the bars and get a good point for our team.
Awesome. Well, what can we expect to see coming up?
Well, some pretty huge stuff. We still have vault, which means lots of big height and lots of twists, and high bar, which is always an exciting event. And, of course, rings for the boys, which is going to be a highlight, I'm pretty sure.
Anything up your sleeve for vault?
Well, I can't divulge that information. It's very secret, so secret.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations, and good luck to the next event.
So, John, after the first 2 rounds, what are your impressions? What do you expect going forward?
So far, this competition has had everything you could ask for. The score is tied. Everybody loves a close competition. And for Team USA, Paul Ruggiero was huge. Won 2 events on the floor exercise, closed it out with that big skill at the end. And for Team World, the elder statesman, you gotta love it. Oksana Chusovitina on an event, quite honestly, that's not her best event, the uneven bar, she gets a point. And of course, Team World closes it out on the parallel bars with Barbosa. And looking forward, I have a really hard time picking a favorite. Next up, the rings, the beam, the vault. There's gonna be a lot of great gymnastics on those events. Team USA delivered the first punch. Team World, they answered with a point of their own. I think it's gonna come right down to the wire.
So after 2 rounds, it is all tied up at 1 round apiece. Still plenty more head-to-head matchups remaining on the Pro Gymnastics Challenge. Vault, beam, and rings remaining in this best-of-7 competition. Who will come out on top? Well, that's anybody's guess, but we promise you it will be action-packed. For John Roethlisberger and Suri Serrano, I'm Bonnie Bernstein. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time on the Pro Gymnastics Challenge.